Good evening to you all, my singular viewers out there. Um, Today's Sunday, January 12th, and it's just another day of me doing this. And some might say it's become a routine for me, which is interesting because who would have thought this? Whoever would think this would become a routine in their life, right? It's almost like free therapy for me or something, right? Because therapy is way too expensive in the American West, am I right? My fellow United States-ers, European-ers, probably just the US. Anyways, completely off topic. Today I want to talk about habits and building habits and breaking habits, and as I am the world-renowned expert on anything, any topic ever, and you should listen to me because I am on your YouTube screen, and therefore I have all authority over you and your life. I think I'm qualified to, speak upon this issue. So, what issue am I speaking about specifically when it comes to habits, right? Well, I'm glad you asked, random internet stranger. I almost didn't do this video today. But something in the back of my head, as I can best describe it, something in the back of my head was like, hey, you gotta do that thing that you always do. You gotta do that thing that you always do. And for most things that we always do, it's probably a good thing that we're reminded to do them. It might be a bit disastrous if you don't drink water or eat food or take a shower or etc. etc. Pick up the kids from school. That's probably a good habit to keep, I'd say. But there's also some things that our brain tell us to do. Something that we don't feel that we need to do inherently. But our brain still gives us those signals. It's like, hey, you should probably do that thing you always do. What if that thing's bad? What if that thing is snoozing your alarm? What if that thing is getting into a fight with someone you love? What if the natural circuitry that we create that is supposed to help us ends up hurting us? What do we do then? Well, not a whole lot. I mean, we can try to will ourselves to get over these bad habits. But really, you have to be in the habit of enabling yourself to will yourself to become more disciplined or what have you. Like, I imagine a Navy SEAL or any sort of someone of that standard is way better at willing themselves to do things than your average Joe sitting on the couch eating potato chips, And so, like anything, I think the best habit you can build within yourself is the new title of this video, The Habit of Willpower. What does that mean? Well, let me tell you another story. Where I live, there's a local hot springs. If you don't know what a hot springs are, well, get out of your cave, you lunatic. But I'll describe it for you if you don't. It's just like a hot spring. I don't know how else to say it. It's like a heated pool that's natural, a natural hot spring. But anywho, you go to this hot spring, you pay an exorbitant price to go lounge in the baths with a million other people's, excrements, which is always exciting, I'm sure. But there's also, in this hot springs, a sauna and a steam room. And let me tell you, if you haven't been in a sauna, it's a little bit torturous. but not in like, oh, I'm in excruciating pain, writhing in hell torture. It's like just mental, like very subtly uncomfortable. You can't breathe. It's 140 degrees in there. Your brain is telling you, get out, get out, get out, get out. You might say that your lower functions, your survival instincts are kicking in. It's like, oh, danger, hot room, will suffocate and die. But you obviously are a well-adjusted adult and you're aware that you're not going to die in a sauna. You might if you stay in there for 10 hours, but you might if you have pre-existing conditions. But why would you be going in there anyways, you idiot? Jesus, you're 92 years old. Like, don't go to the hot springs, man. I'm kidding. Do what you want. But you sit in there and you start having this biblical war within yourself. The angel and the demon fighting, and fighting. And eventually the demon will win, which is like just you leaving the sauna. Like, who cares? It's not that deep, bro. But hear me out. And anything in life where you encounter resistance, resist. Because the more you're able to resist, the more you're able to build a habit of exercising your willpower, your self-control, your discipline, etc., the better your life will be. There's that classic cliche study, and it's not a cliche, it's really interesting. You definitely have heard of the marshmallow test, where they put a marshmallow or any sort of Skittles, etc., I'm sure animal crackers would do. They put an amount, let's say they put one marshmallow in front of these kids, and they say, okay, kid, if you look at this marshmallow for 10 minutes and you don't eat it, you'll be able to get another one. And so there'll be like 20 kids, and let's say the timer starts, 10 minutes ticking down, 9:59, 9:58, yada yada. Let's say half those kids eat the marshmallow before the time's up. Oh, bummer. They only get one marshmallow. They weren't able to delay gratification. And then they went on, to study how these kids performed later in their lives. And I was reading an article about this and about discipline and self-control, exactly, etc., in the Atlantic. Maybe I'll be able to find the article. Probably not. You can go search for it yourselves if you want. Also, the Atlantic, fantastic news source, would recommend. And that study was later debunked. There's multitudes of issues with it. But I think the idea is what's interesting here. For example, going back to the sauna, like they say potentially, I don't know, I'm not no scientist, but maybe if I stay in that sauna a minute longer, I release more toxins out of my body. As with anything, if I'm able to, or you're able to, exercise your willpower, and if you're given the opportunity to exercise your willpower, I feel like that is really, really vital to a long and healthy and suffering-free life. So my 10 minutes is almost up. So I'll end with a little bit of a call to action here. If you ever find yourself given the opportunity to put your manhood, womanhood on the line and try to resist something, like let's say, you're running a half marathon or you're fighting an addiction. And if you're fighting an addiction, this is a whole another topic. please, 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 the number one thing you can do is try to find some community, because they say the way to break addiction is to break shame, and the way to break shame is through connection. That's my little nugget of wisdom there. But don't give in easily, Maybe you've been wanting to eat healthier earlier, or lately. What? Maybe you've been wanting to eat healthier lately. And you go to the supermarket and you feel that urge to do that thing that you've always done, buy the sugary cereal or cookies or whatever. Notice that thought in your head. Oh, my brain's telling me to do what I always do. You know what? I don't want to do what I've always done. I want to eat some guava juice or whatever nutty health food thing there is nowadays. Sorry, not to disparage, but anyways, you get the point. The real point of this is it's just me rambling into a camera. It's been that all along. You've been fooled. Anyways, have a good one.